Good afternoon, Suzie.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome to the RecentPast. It's a delight to have you on my podcast. I think we've probably discussed on the side for a bit trying to plan this, but it's good to finally have you here.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. I think for the benefit of my audience who probably might not know you, maybe you can just tell me a little bit about yourself.
That's a tricky question. When people tell me a little bit about yourself, because you never know where to start from. Most of us don't know who we are. But my name is Suzie Anyuat Williams. Professionally, I'm a journalist. I'm a mother. What else can I say about myself? I'm quite interesting. I'm out there. I'm an outgoing person. I love to read. I love to watch movies. Generally, I'm an all-round person. Yeah.
Okay, super. You're very you're a fashionista.
No, but I love to dress up.
Yeah, okay.
As a girl growing up, we always have those dress-up games, and I've always taken a keen, interest in colors and, trying to put pieces together here and there. And I think I love fashion. I wouldn't call myself a fashionista, though.
Okay, good. So, where were you born and where do you grow up? Where did you grow up?
I was born in Rumbek. I'm from Rumbek. I was born in Rumbek during the liberation struggle. And during that time, I never got to see my dad because I was born with my dad in the bush, grew up until I was like 5 years old, and moved to Kampala with the entire family. We first settled in Arua between 98 to 2003. We were staying in Arua City. And 2003, December, we moved to Kampala, and we've been there until I think 2014, that's when we moved back home. But it was interesting growing up, without seeing your dad here and there. First time I saw my dad, I think, was when we were moving to Kampala. That was in 2003. So you can imagine from 96 up to 2003, I would just see my dad in pictures and photographs. I didn't know what he looked like because he was in the bush. All he had to do was send food with his guards and clothes for us and stuff like that, but we never really got to see him and interact with him until when we were moving to Uganda.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all this time, what kind of things were you up to growing up? What kind of family setup were you in?
From a very big family. I would say polygamous family. My dad had about 15 wives. Yes, and we're very many children. But also we're a big family in a sense that we grew up with most of our cousins and aunties and friends of cousins and friends of brothers and sisters. Like our house was just like a community. And, to the extent that when my dad had to rent houses in Kampala, he had to rent a big house or two houses in one. And the boys would take one side and the women and girls would take the other side. And you just had to be there to see when we were cooking.
Wow.
You had to mingle posho as two people. Like you're on the other side, I'm on this side. Yes. And then it's like a school. And when you see the plates when they're serving food, you'd think you're in a nursery and primary school. So it was a very big family, but it also taught us unity. My dad always told us, after the war, when now he started interacting with his children, he always told us they grew up in a small family. His dad had only one wife, and there were 5 children, 2 girls, 3 boys. But he said on my grandfather's deathbed, my grandfather told him, you have to make a big family. Because in the Dinka culture, having a big family is pride. It's not only pride, but people see you as an example to the community. You're upholding the culture. You're living up to the way the Dinka people lived. So my dad took it upon himself to fulfill his father's wish by having so many children. Some to the extent that even right now as we speak, when I go home, I get shocked there is a new child every time. My daughter has uncles that are 2 years old and 6 months and 3 months. So it's a big family. It's crazy, but it's fun. We love each other. We're united. The advantage of growing up in such a big family is right now that we've grown, when I have a problem, I have people I run to, I know I have several support systems in the family. I have my cousins. I have people that grew up with us that my dad brought up, but are really not family, but have become family. So there is a huge support system that you have at the end of the day.
How do you, in that all support system, how do you stand out? Or how do you get noticed?
I'm a rebellious child.
Okay.
So I think that is my trait. My dad always said Suzie is so rebellious that I don't know whether she gets it from her mother or from me. But my mom says I get it from my dad. So I stand out in the fact that, one, I was academically a very strong child. From my primary all the way to my university, I was a straight A student. So I think that made me stand out in one way or the other. And then I was practically just stubborn, rebellious. I never liked to do kitchen or housework. I was always playing with my brothers, the boys, and this, would get on the nerves of my sisters most of the times, because girls are not supposed to play with boys. You're supposed to be in the kitchen, but that was not me.
So what kind of rebellious things were you kind of engaged in earlier on, like in school or what?
I was a dancer. My dad didn't believe in talent.
Yeah.
My family doesn't believe in talent. So when I started dancing in school and I discovered this talent, I was performing with friends at talent shows. They would invite us for graduation parties to go and perform there, and we would get paid.
How old were you then?
I was around 15.
Wow.
15. So I was making my own money. I didn't have to ask for,
So
pocket
this dancing
money.
was paying? Was this in
Yeah,
Kampala?
it was paying. It was in Kampala. So me and my friends would get invited. It became a small popular group.
What is the name of the group?
We called it Swag Jackers.
So the Swag Jackers would be invited.
Yes.
What was the hit? What were the hit songs that you will dance to R&B?
So many. We had, by then, Afrobeats was just something emerging. We had the likes of Azonto, it was crazy. High school life was crazy. So I love
with this
dancing.
group, you invited to different parties. You danced and you got paid for it.
And I got paid for it. And then I think it developed. I then realized this is something I can actually do and make some good money out of it. So when I got pregnant and I had finished school and came back, I decided to, we had a small group. We still called it Swag Jackers in Rumbek, and we would perform, at shows, and we would even be invited by Unimis to go and perform. So we made a good name and some good money out of that.
So that was in Rumbek?
That was in Rumbek and Kampala. I started it from Kampala and finished it in Rumbek.
At what age did you get your child?
I gave birth at 19.
19?
Yes.
So you got pregnant at the age of 19, 18 there.
18 there, moving to 19, yes.
How was that experience?
Scary, to be honest, scary, because you're a young girl and you come from this big family where people believe you have to finish school, be an example, grow up, grow up and be married off, as a virgin. Yeah. Unfortunately, fortunately, that didn't happen. So when I got pregnant, I had a mishap with my dad. He was not very happy about it. So me and my dad stopped talking because he had this belief in me, because when I was young, I wanted to grow up and become a doctor. So he really invested. I was the only child that, because of my academic excellence, that was taken to a private school. So I attended a Cambridge school, and then to him, it was very disappointing. He had all this hope in me and then end up getting pregnant after school, So it didn't make sense. I didn't talk to my dad until my child was 3 years old.
What?
Yeah. My dad and I were not talking, until my child was 3 years old. So it was devastating, but at the end of the day, I was like, it is what it is. There is nothing much you can do about it. You just have to live your life and move on.
So did you feel like at that, did you kind of get into a state where like you felt like you were a bit also disappointed in yourself, or you were a bit down?
One thing about being in Rumbek, and not to tarnish the name of where I come from, is once you stay in that place for quite some time, you feel like a failure because there are not so many opportunities. There is nothing much to do there, so you're always just stagnant. You feel like your life is not moving forward. And for that time when I was in Rumbek, because I was there from the time I was pregnant till I gave birth, till my child was like 3 years old, I was in Rumbek. I was working for a radio station, but still I felt like this was it for me. Like
there was nothing
there
more.
was nothing more out there for me. This is the end of everything, and probably this is where I'll just live and die and get some old man to marry me at the end of the day, and that will just be my life. So I was very disappointed in myself at some point. I felt like I was a failure because my life was just stuck. But thank God we got out of it. I met a friend who I now regard as a mother. She's called Tanya. I met Tanya, who had also gone through the same experience as mine, and she didn't believe that, you could just, one mishap in your life, should be the end of it. You can still turn out way better than you were expecting. So Tanya helped me, by taking me back to school to finish my university. And she helped me raise my child.
Wow.
Yeah. So she took me to Uganda. I looked for a school. I went to Victoria University, and she brought my daughter along to Kampala with me. She rented us a house. She was taking care basically of everything, from feeding to what we were wearing to medication to school fees for both me and my child to our rent. Like, she really changed my life. So probably if it was not for her, I would still be in Rumbek right now.
What did she see in you that motivated her to do
that? She said I was smart.
Okay. Yeah.
She said I was too smart not to be given a chance in life, and she wanted to, put all her eggs in one basket and invest in me and see where life could take me. Because she also told me when she was back in Canada, at the same age that I gave birth, she also gave birth. And she had problems with her dad, and she had to drop out. And she had to, at least they're lucky they have student loans. We don't have student loans here. So she had to take student loans to finish her school. So I think that experience, the fact that we had...
She saw herself in you.
Yeah, she saw herself in me. And she believed I could accomplish way more, with my education instead of being a young dropout single mother. That was too much for me. So she was like, you know what, just go. You don't have to do anything. I'll pay everything. And we'll see where life takes you after school. So I'm really grateful for her. If it was not for her.
And how did you guys meet?
Work. Yeah, I was working at a radio station in Rumbek. It's under Catholic Diocese. It's called Good News Radio. So we had a program. She was working for UNFAO. We had a program with UNFAO called School Woodage, which is basically loosely translated cattle camp school. So they were teaching guys in the cattle camps and things like that. And I was chosen to head the project from my radio station, and she was heading it from FAO. So that's how we met, and over time we became friends. She's no longer in South Sudan, but we keep in touch every day. We're talking.
So then you go to Kampala and you're studying while and your daughter is there.
Yeah.
How is that experience of studying and also you having a child?
To be honest, it was easy for me. Tanya made it easy for me because she got me someone to help me in the house. Yeah, so I had a house help that was helping me take care of my daughter and everything to do in the house. So I didn't really feel like there was too much of a burden taking care of a child and being in school at the same time. Although there were those moments, where I was too tired and just wanted to be by myself, and children, they are always in your face. You want to read, and she's like, Mama, Mama, did you watch this cartoon? Mama, do you know what so-and-so did? So, like, you have to balance. Sometimes I felt like locking myself in the bathroom, but I feel blessed to have my child.
What about the father of your child? Like, from that time on, like, there was no, is there any?
There was no contact.
From as soon as from the start?
No, from the time of conception until I gave birth, until I finished my school, no.
So it's now like you're the one who end up taking care of the child?
Yes.
Do you think that also like change your perception and your experience a bit?
Yes, definitely, because it made me realize that, you know, at the end of the day, when you put your mind to something, you can do it. And being the only person that was there for my daughter as a parent, I think it also changed, because I was like, now I see what my mom was going through during the time that my dad was away, you know. It was not easy, because I remember in my childhood, my mom used to make local brew, you know, and she would lock me and my elder sister in the room the whole day while she's in the market. So she'll wake up very early, cook for us, and then lock us inside with the food and go until she comes back around 4, 5 p.m. We're just inside there, because she didn't want us to interact with strangers, outsiders, and, you know, the village setting. And she's like, you probably will learn bad values from other people and things like that. So she always locked us inside the room. So for me, I was like, if my mom could do it with 3 children, I can do it too.
So then, so you finish your study. When did you finish your studies?
2022.
2022. So what do you do afterwards?
I graduated in September 2022 and then moved to Juba December that same year. And I was fortunate enough to find a job with Boomerang Creatives. It's a private media company in South Sudan, basically advertising and public relations. So I was fortunate enough to find a job with them, and I've been working with them ever since. Yeah.
What do you do at Boomerang Creatives?
Boomerang Creatives, personally, I'm their client services manager, so it's more of fostering the relationships between the client and the company. So that's what I do.
Yeah. So now, like, in terms of your daughter, is she in school now?
Yes, she's actually in primary 4.
How old is she now?
She'll be turning 9 next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week.
How is your outlook on life right now? Like, I mean, you're professional, you're engaging in a lot of things. Probably you're earning money for yourself.
Yes.
And yeah, how is it?
Life is fulfilling.
Yeah. And then are you with your parent, with your dad? Are you now like?
Yeah, me and my dad, we're good. We're good. We sat down, we talked, and from a parent's point of view, I understood where his anger was coming from. You know, you invest in a child and you really wish them to do well, and they go into a different path. It can be disappointing as a parent. Me now being as a parent, I totally understand where he was coming from. But we're good. We spoke. We sorted out our differences. He's okay with his granddaughter. He actually loves her. He's always praising her for how smart she is.
Because I know a lot of parents, they get so disappointed. I've seen this also happening with my dad and my sister. He gets so disappointed, but then like they're so cool with the grandchild.
Right? Like, I can tell you right now, my dad loves my daughter way more than he loves me. And I wonder, like, I brought her here. You were not okay with her in the first place, but now you guys are best friends. Where did the relationship come from? So you get to understand parents are parents at the end of the day. You know, they brought you here. There is nothing much they can do. No matter how angry they are, you're their child. They'll always come back to you.
Do you like? But it's like it's very common. Like people getting young ladies getting pregnant in South Sudan here. But I think usually their fortune doesn't turn the same. I think not everyone's story is like yours.
True.
Yeah, because a lot of people can just take a detour from their own and.
I think it has to do with your determination as a person and where you want your life to be. Because you can be a young lady, you have huge dreams, and those dreams are cut short by you being pregnant, and you have to take care of this child. And within that period of you trying to take care of the child, life becomes so difficult that you end up giving up on yourself. But you don't have to, You talk to people. There are always people out there that are willing to talk to you and talk you into going back into the path that you initially wanted to take. Having a child does not stop you from being who you want to be or achieving the goals that you want to achieve. It's just a temporary, pause on your career or your life.
Because the society has different expectations. Because if a guy impregnate a lady, the society doesn't look at him as like, oh, look at you now, who will marry you again? Like,
the society always favors men over women.
It's not like there's no guy that you see someone telling, who will you marry again? How will you? You've already wasted your chance. I think that the outlook is usually probably the burden is more on ladies than
it is on men. Yeah. And I think that needs to change. Honestly, it needs to change because we're all human. Yeah. The same man that did that to the lady should be accorded the same shame that you're giving the lady.
That you're giving the lady.
Yes. Yeah. There is no way you're going to tell the woman, she gave birth to out of, wedlock, blah, blah, blah. She didn't get married. Now there is no man that will marry a single mother. And then people have this perception towards single mothers. I don't know where it's coming from.
What is the
perception? But guys, we're nice. We're nice. We're just like your mothers.
But I find it interesting because like you are very... Like, even at times, I remember when I met you first, we were chatting and you're like, yeah, I have a daughter. Do you think like there are a lot, because I don't know, there are a lot of single mothers who probably wouldn't front that information.
Yeah, true. I've also been told by a few friends that have kids, don't tell people you have a child, because then they say these customers will run away.
Yeah, so a lot of customers just
the like, customers will run away. But for me, there is no way. I feel like a guy that genuinely wants you will accept your child, So I'm very proud of my child. I'm proud of being a mother. And everyone that has met me knows that's the first thing I tell them. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, I have a daughter. She's like this, she's like that. Because I'm proud of being her mother.
Are there some guys that as soon as you tell them this, their face change?
No. It's usually you have a kid. Oh, no, I don't believe that. So it's usually the denial that I have a child.
No, like, I mean, is there someone who can probably try to vibe you?
Then when I tell them,
then their vibe is different?
No.
So they're always cool.
They're always cool. Maybe it's the people that I meet, I don't know. They are more open-minded.
Yeah, they're more open-minded. Yes. They
are okay. They are receptive to that. Yeah. They're like, oh, it's not a problem. Okay, the question usually is how many? Like you say, I have, I'm a mom, and then they're like, how many children do you have? And then you're like, I have one. They're like, oh, okay, cool, so that's cool.
One
is okay. One is okay. They can manage to raise another man's child as long as it's one. But if it's two, they're scared. That's now where people pull back.
How is the dating life for a single mother?
I don't want to speak for everyone.
Yeah, okay, maybe you can
speak for myself, it's easy.
It's easy?
It's easy. I actually feel like people want, this generation, they're more interested in single mothers than they are.
Oh, they're more interested in single mothers?
Than they're actually interested in single mothers than they are on ladies that haven't given birth yet. Here's an example. Yeah. Someone told me once that the reason they prefer to go with single mothers or ladies that at least have one child is because there is proof that you're working.
Oh, there's proof that
there is proof
that this is.
And then these other ones, they're like, you'll probably get married to her with lots and lots of cows, and then she's not working.
Oh, so there's proof that this
that's a loss
can
to
give
them.
birth.
Yes, but to you, they're like, oh no, this one perfect. She works. She's very active. We're okay with this. So for me, the dating pool has been okay.
The dating pool is fine.
Yeah, and they are really, they always want to meet my daughter, although I keep them on the other side. I don't want them to meet my child this early.
Is there one who brought a gift to your child?
Yes, they actually do buy gifts for my daughter.
Is that a plus?
It's a plus.
This is just a trick to anyone who wants it.
It's a plus.
Like, here, take this to your daughter.
Yes,
So like, hey.
I go out with someone and they're like, oh, do you think your daughter would love this? And then they buy chocolates. And then there are those who buy her like teddy bears and things like that. So that's honestly a green flag for me. The fact that you love kids, it's a green flag.
It's a kind of a green flag.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like it's a very interesting bit, because I think that's people are kind of like opening up. The society becoming more open. People are kind of like more understanding.
True.
But just on the other side, you find also a lot of people who kind of, as soon as someone has a daughter, people also want to police you. Why are you out? Why are you?
Thank you.
Yeah. Why are you out? Why are you this?
I'm childish. I can be childish.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes I've had people say, you know, you should not do this. You have a child now. These are things your child should do. Or why would you dress this way? Like, because I have a child now, I should start wearing jalabias and like the way my mom dresses, tie my hair. I'm not supposed to be as dressing according to my age, you know. So these are the stereotypes people have. Once you have become a mother, you should now behave like the older mothers because this is the way mothers are expected. But we're a completely different generation. We have a different perspective on what life is like and how to live life. So I don't think people should put their beliefs and morals on people. Just allow people to live their life. Life is short. Honestly, life is short. You know, I don't want to live and please you and then, you know, I feel like I've not fulfilled my own, you know, expectations of myself. So I want to live my life freely.
Hey. Man, I think life should be. I think people should be able to vibe.
True.
Now you are an industry insider because you work with a lot of creatives. What has been your perspective on the creative scene in South Sudan?
There is a lot of talent. And I think sometimes it's blocked out by the financial bit of it, because we have a lot of creative young people, but the support is not there. I have interacted with a few who really had great ideas, and you look at the work they have done before and it's really amazing. If it's in other countries that are developed, these people would be the young millionaires that you'd be seeing on TV. But because there is lack of support, and I feel like the creative industry in South Sudan is not taken very seriously. Like when you're in the creative industry, people look at you like, it's just another failure that is just trying to make money out of something that anyone else can do. But not everyone else can do what the other person does. We have people that are really, really good at art. It's not selling. Why? Because people don't see the importance of the talent of this person. We have lots and lots of fashion designers in South Sudan, but you don't see people purchasing their, you know, actually, what I've noticed is mostly it's the UN foreign staff.
The UN foreign staff actually, especially the art
ones. Yes, they are the ones that are supporting the creative industry.
The artists are like, you touch something small like this, $200. You're like, okay.
Yeah, but you know, you also have to consider the time they are putting in and the material these people are buying.
But do you think like right now when creatives say like, hey, the local people are not buying our things, do you think also like that? Don't you think they're also placing too much burden on the local market?
Yeah, I think you should not, the creatives should not limit themselves to only the South Sudanese market. These days we have Facebook, you have TikTok, Instagram, especially TikTok. It takes you places. People can just be interested in the kind of work that you're doing within a short period of time. You have a whole different clientele. So I think sometimes we limit ourselves to South Sudan only, and we really want to impose these creative ideas. But what we, the creatives, forget is that we're just stepping into this world as South Sudanese.
It's still a nascent market, it's still new market.
It's still a new market.
What about musicians? What do you think about the music in terms of the creative?
That's tricky because we have lots of talent, but sometimes I feel like some of it is nonsense.
Some of it is crap, right?
It's crap. Like, not everyone is meant to, you know, become a musician. Not everyone, but people just want to do it.
Why do you think they want to do that?
Because they want the fame. Honestly, it's the clout.
It gives you the say.
It gives you the sense of importance because So many people know you. And I'll tell you one, when I went to attend the Sudan versus South Sudan football match,
Yeah.
there were so many of our musicians.
Because they were headliners. But
Yes.
they're also musicians who just went and grabbed the mic
Exactly.
and started.
And then these guys will look at you. Okay, I know you're a musician, but I'm not interested. But they will look at you because they want you to recognize them, you see. So you're forcing, you want people to recognize you by force. Sing sense. If you sing sense and your music style is really appealing to the people, the South Sudanese youth like to go out. We party.
Yeah.
So if you have a good tune,
Yeah.
we're going to dance to it. We'll make you some money.
Who do you think are the people now who are kind of leading in the singing sense, as you say, or
Sense.
singing things that people like?
I would say Ali Joma.
Yeah.
Ali
He's-
Joma
he's- he's a
really
star.
good. He's a
Yeah.
star. He's a big star. He has really good content. And if I were to ever get married, I would want Ali Joma to sing for me my
Because
wedding song.
He does customize wedding songs
Yes,
to people,
like,
and he sings very.
Have you heard the one of Salome? Like the way he sang it, you could feel it. Like the lyrics, you could literally feel the lyrics.
Those-
Same as Regina.
Yeah.
Those songs are amazing. Then I would also say John Frog.
Yeah.
Not because he's my boy,
Yeah.
but he has some.
No, John Frog is from your area, right?
No.
Oh. He's not from your area.
But we're both from Barkazal.
You're both from but he's your homie.
He's my homie. But he has some good music.
He is one of the people that, I thought I had Mariaki and I was like, John Frog really developed. He's like a star.
He is. Actually, John Frog has put the South Sudanese music industry out there. Like, you go to Uganda right now, the only artist they know is John Frog. Go to Kenya, the only South Sudanese artist they know is John Frog. So John Frog is the literal South Sudanese ambassador.
Yeah, because even his songs were being played at our basketball game.
Yes,
the other
right?
day. Yeah, he's
In
like-
Britain.
Yeah, in Britain, yeah.
So you can see. So to me, honestly, and then Kim Swag. When it comes to the
yeah.
dance hall,
Yeah.
arena, I love Kim Swag. So these are my top 3.
What about in the female artists? Come on, try.
Maybe Lady Caller. Maybe Lady Caller.
Is I think she understands music.
She understands. She actually, what I like from Lady Caller is she understands how to be relevant.
Yes.
She understands that being relevant to your fans or staying, at the top of news is very relevant to your business. She knows how to market herself. She understands that whole business.
And she doesn't mind like singing controversial things or things that a society can look at with a bit of
Yeah, exactly. That's why
she sings about Dugukas, she sings about Toronto, she sings about
She sings
Fogo.
about
Like a lot of
everything.
stuff that you probably you wouldn't want to listen to those songs with your parents if they're present.
True. But she's okay.
Yeah, but also I tell people like this is no different than what you hear, what you listen from Eminem or all these guys.
Or Cardi B.
Yeah,
Or Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, but why do you think people are very quick to judge her? Meanwhile, they're okay with listening to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B with a loud
I would say context.
context, huh?
Yes,
because
context.
she's saying stuff. If she like, it's just because she's singing in Arabic and what. But some of the stuff that people listen to from Cardi B is probably more wild than her.
Yeah, I think it's context. Looking at it from the context of South Sudan, we're still a very conservative community. So saying certain things, like let's say if you discussed sex education openly, okay, people would think you're this spoiled person. Like you'll see parents telling their kids, "I don't want you to interact with Nelson." Because the things he says, he's going to teach you bad manners. And then they look at these things and they're like, oh, it's the culture of the Americans.
The Americans, so
it's normal for them. For us here, it's not normal. You can't even, children are not even allowed to call private parts by their names.
But I mean, when people are outside, you studied, when people are when I was in school, a lot of the people that I hang out, a lot of the boys that I hang out with, they're so vulgar. They talk about these things everywhere. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Even a lot of parents think that their kids are good. More kids are very,
They're not.
Yeah, a lot of kids are, I think probably a lot of people live double kind of standards.
We did.
Yeah, because people speak about these things.
It's open. Like I mean, I talk to my friends about everything.
Yeah.
I'm open. I'm a very open book. So for me, I have no lines that I do not cross when it comes to conversations. It can be sexual, it can be academic, it can be, you know, in line with the work that I do.
What
I'm out there.
What do you say if people say like, oh, a lot of women are losing our values. We're losing our values. These women, these ladies these days, they're losing our values.
We're not losing
They're
our
losing our
values.
culture.
We're not losing the culture. We're not losing our values. We're evolving with the world.
How are you guys evolving with it?
We are okay. Here's the thing:
Someone's saying like, oh, all these ladies, Shisha, Marisa, what, they're out there, they're dancing, dressing, all kind of things. These ladies are not. These are not wives.
You see, you can smoke, you can drink, but you can be a very good wife.
Okay.
You see, it doesn't stop you from being a wife. We've had people marry women that society deemed not fit back in the days because they were too quarrelsome or because they loved fighting. But these women kept their homes. So what makes you think it's just because our mothers did not have the shishas and everything back in the days? But
If
trust
they had,
me,
they'll be
some
vibing.
of them would be vibing the way their daughters are today. And when you say the ladies are diverting, who is to blame? Is it our parents or is it ourselves? Because our parents raised us. As much as you raised us, did you look out at what your kid was doing during that time? Did you, guide them on what to do and what not to do? That's the other question that comes in. So we're not losing the culture. We're not losing our values. We have just adapted to a more open mindset and a more receptive way of life. Like, okay, I'm going to try this, see if it's good or not. Back in the days, girls were not even allowed to go to school. We were in the kitchen. We are now in school. So are you trying to say taking us to school has, washed away the cultural part of us or not?
Yeah.
Because you can still be educated, you can still be an elite woman with your cultures, right? You find a way to merge these things.
To merge your culture.
Yeah, so I cannot be home throughout, guys. You work from Monday to Friday. Weekends are for weekending. Go out and have fun. So don't judge us. We're just having fun the same way the boy child is doing, Yeah. So, and we can't go out and party in jalabias.
So you need to be
something free, where if I move my shoulders, things will shake, like.
I think that's that is probably that's a bit of kind of a reality of our time, because a lot of young people are experimenting and are trying to define something. One thing I've noticed is that I have noticed kind of the arrival of a lot of what you call songs in mother tongue, like songs in native dialects into the clubs. By then it used to be done in a kind of, hey, there is this. Now let's honor the Dinka community. There is a Dinka song. Let's sing the Nur. But now I can see like songs that are kind of like in Tongjang or in other things, but they're not doing it in a manner to honor the culture. They're doing it because these songs are hit.
True.
Yeah, like these songs are, or even Arabic songs. They played in the clubs, not because of paying homage.
But we're doing it because we're vibing. It's a song you can vibe to.
And I think that's a nice evolution, right?
It
when
is.
You see now like Ali Joma and what, because they used to play it like late at night. Yeah,
4
like
a.m.
4 a.m.
actually, to be precise.
Yes,
it used to be 4 a.m.
4
But now you go to a club, 9 a.m. Ali Joma is playing.
Yes.
10 p.m. you're hearing somebody else,
Yeah, like, I mean, this guy, what's his name? It's my
Single
friend.
D or something.
Single D or...
Single D is also another guy that is really good.
Single D or Abuna Boy or like that.
So you see, it has evolved. We have changed. And the other thing about that I like with our music industry right now is the fact that there is no tribe.
Yes.
We are just vibing to a South Sudanese song. And I think this is what our leaders are not seeing. If you go out there, the youth don't care about your tribalism.
They don't.
We don't care. I don't care where you're from. As long as we catch the same vibe, we're good. I have partied with people whose names I've never gotten, and we meet the next weekend and we vibe and we go and we don't know each other's names. And when I see them, I'm like, oh, that's my brother. Or they're like, oh, that's my sister. We don't even know where we're from.
And I think that is, I think that's a positive sign.
It's a very positive thing, especially with our people.
You see,
this generation, we're changing the way people look at South Sudan.
Were you at the Color Festival at Luri?
No.
Oh my God, it was so good.
I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, because I went there, you could see like, oh my God, this is like beyond tribe. Because a lot of people, young people, are just happy with the country. They're happy
just
they're
enjoying.
just vibing, and you're just like, oh, I think this is a good snapshot of what probably like a coexistence should look like.
You'll also see from the things we post on our socials, right?
Yeah.
You see the way people interact down there in the comment section.
In the comment section.
And people are united.
No, people are so...
People don't care about...
And I think also probably that thing that unites people is the suffering. I mean,
the
all
suffering,
of us...
true. The brokenness.
Yeah, the brokenness.
The brokenness will bring you guys together.
You
live in
a lot of people think, oh, like, you know what? You people are the ones who are having the government, you are having the money. But I think
now... There's nothing like you guys are the ones eating the oil money. Everyone is suffering.
Everyone is suffering.
Yeah.
I think a lot of young people are kind of realizing that. And also everyone is hustling also. The hustle. Like a lot of people are just...
And I like the fact that with the youth, we have each other's backs. Like if you have a friend who works somewhere and they know you're looking for a job, they'll always send you like, hey there's this link. Kindly try your luck, That is something that I have seen that is really good. I've also seen... within the females, I know they say, oh, women don't like each other. But there is a lot of sisterhood that people don't see. Like, I have been out and I have met women, and there was probably something wrong with her blouse or, a problem somewhere. And this random woman will just walk up to her and say, hey, sister, please come aside. And then they help you do it, So where is the hate?
So I think a lot of girls they're girls, huh?
We're girls.
Yeah, so
we are our sisters keepers, and I have seen this a lot. And we have a lot of women that support each other here in South Sudan, unlike what others keep saying.
Because a lot of people think that like our women are very vindictive. They're very jealous.
We don't like each other.
They don't like each other.
We even have women who support their husbands marrying second wives. So you can imagine, and these are millennials.
So it's like do you think the idea of polygamy, do you think it's something that people are kind of coming to terms with? Is it going to be there?
No. My personal opinion is most people in our generation are looking towards monogamy more than polygamy. Me personally...
But you come from a polygamous family.
Yes, but I don't want to be in a polygamous family, you see. I would rather be in a monogamy. Because as much as there is so much love and support coming in from a big family, there are also so many disadvantages that people are not comfortable speaking out on. So, no, I wouldn't want to...
You don't want...
No, because I come from a big family and I know what it's like. That's why I don't want a big family.
So you think that a small family that you want, do you think you're going to tie that soon?
No.
Come on, all these guys who brought gifts?
Yeah, I know. They will have to keep trying. There are so many CVs, by the way. I'm still reviewing. I'm not getting married anytime.
You want to take your time?
I want to take my time.
And review.
I mean, with the way we're suffering in this country, what are you marrying for? What exactly are you marrying for? Because you're giving that man a burden. You yourself, you can barely take care of yourself. And then remember, we have this habit of where now when I'm married to Nelson, my mom will now be dependent on you. My young sisters will be dependent on you. I don't want that for the man I'm going to marry. So I don't want to be a burden to the person that is going to marry me. I want to be able to, also contribute in that household. I also want to be able to say, oh, we're building a house. Okay, we've bought land. I will buy these materials. You buy these materials, or you pay school fees. I will take care of the feeding in the family and, the clothing. You take care of school fees and the medication. That's the kind of house I want to build. I don't want to be a burden.
What if the guy is some tycoon, some filthy ass tycoon?
Who is already married?
Yeah.
No. Because the tycoons in this country are old.
The tycoon are older?
Yes.
There's no young tycoon?
I haven't seen it. The young tycoons, they claim to be, but they are obviously holding that money for their uncles I don't know.
Someone else's boy.
Exactly. So, and I don't see myself marrying an old man.
And you just see yourself also marrying someone who is a front for someone else?
No. I don't want somebody's errand boy, because then you also end up being an errand girl. Should anything go wrong, both of you can get kicked out, because you people depend on somebody else. I don't want that. That's not where I see my life.
Suzie Williams, thank you so much for being on the RecentPast.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. I really appreciate it.
You're a good vibe. It's always a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best in your professional and your personal life.
Thank you so much. And I wish you guys all the best.
Okay, thanks.
All right.